The company I founded in 1987 is called the True Learning Centre, and it's no accident that the initials come out to TLC. The T, well, it stands for thinking, helping individuals and teams and the whole organisation think in a systems way. The L is all about learning, creating learning individuals in learning teams, in learning organisations. And the C, well, that stands for communication and community, the morale and the motivation of the workforce. How do we do all of this? Well, whether it's a keynote speech, a day's training or a 5-day leadership program, we believe that everything has to be entertaining. There's got to be a sense of fun, there's got to be laughter, there's got to be invigoration of the people that are participating in the learning. And also, it's got to be educational. There's got to be layers of education happening so people have got a message they can carry with them, they can take home from a conference and they can put it into their daily work. It's got to be practical. What do you do when you're faced in an unfamiliar environment with an unfamiliar problem?
Hi, my name is Bob Pike, and when I saw Glenn Capelli at last year's International Alliance for Learning Conference and saw the impact that he had on the audience, I knew that we had to have him as the keynote speaker at our Creative Training Techniques Conference. All yesterday afternoon, I went past people in the hall, and it was interesting that one particular person kept coming by with 2 thumbs up, Capelli, 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 and I can recommend Glenn to any audience.
But why then means that we ask the question, how else could we do this? What other way can we do it? Let's look at everything we do.
This is the second time that we've sponsored Glenn Capelli. We sponsored him in the Auckland Conference and he came down again, and I just jumped at the chance to sponsor him again because he's just so much fun and he's so vital with what he does, gets the whole group involved. Since did the first of his presentations this morning, everybody's been coming up saying thanks very much for bringing him over. He's really making the conference. He's entertaining, he's interesting, and he's bringing a lot of things in that are useful not just for us as managers of hospitals and that sort of thing, but would be useful for staff. I've had 2 people suggest I should get him in to come to my own company and teach all of my staff as well, which I think is a great idea. I just find that he's really good at bringing everybody in.
The shop assistant came up and said, "Sir, how are you going with those shoes?"
I think the thing about Glenn is you have to be real careful when you're in a session with him, because you think things are just kind of rolling along and you're kind of having a good time, and then all of a sudden you figure out he just snuck something by you and you learn something when you weren't really expecting it. And it's kind of unnerving, the amount of learning that he can sneak in when you don't think it's really happening to you.
And I laughed, oh, that's great, because if you look at the CAP model and the CAPE model, capability as a word is spelled C-A-P, ability, but it's pronounced capability.
We've just had a fabulous presentation by Glenn Capelli where he really played to rave reviews. Glenn, in his learning-oriented style, incorporates humor and education in a way that makes it absolutely fantastic. The whole group enjoyed it. We got outstanding ratings, and people are already talking about how do we get him for next year and do something that will make even a next generation of learning more valuable for our organization.
Standing still. But instead of saying I can do that, I'm good at that, that's all I'm going to do. Do circles inside?
I've known Glenn for almost 10 years now, and every time I turn around, I'm learning something new from him. We have wonderful dialogue, wonderful conversations. But the amazing part is that he can do that with a room of 300, 500, 700 people, the same way he does it individually with me. That's a gift.
You feel like running away or heading out.
Glenn is a wonderful mix of creativity and innovation. Following his first visit with us, our staff and managers were overwhelmingly positive about his work, and consequently we invited Glenn back for a 2nd year running. Glenn is able to work with all kinds of people, all kinds of industries, regardless of role, and certainly for the Body Shop he was a very positive experience.
In Taipei it is 23 degrees. That's your news at 11. I'm Stephen Angle.
It doesn't matter what country you're living in, what language you speak. Change is global. The messages and methods we're about are meaningful for everyone. Each and every one of us has got weaknesses, and a successfully intelligent person knows what their weaknesses are. The number one fear Every speech we make is creative, helping people to be innovative in a changing world. It is analytical, helping people to think deeper and richer in a systems way, and it's got to be practical, stuff people can use on a Monday. It embraces emotional intelligence for life learning inspiration. Creative, analytical, practical, emotional, life learning inspiration. CAPELLI.